In a bizarre twist, blockbuster JRPG Final Fantasy XV was adapted into a chibi-style mobile game, featuring the entire storyline and main quest told in tiny mobile form. In an even more bizarre twist, that mobile game has now found its way back into consoles. And in a final perfect twist, that mobile port is on the Nintendo Switch, which is probably the perfect fit for it, and it's what I've been playing on. I have to make it clear from the start that I'm a very firm Final Fantasy XV apologist. I love the world, I love the combat, and most of all, I love the boys. Don't let that convince you that I was sold in this game from the beginning though. It seemed a strange move to condense a game as sprawling and epic into a mobile experience. Any scepticism I had melted away as soon as I saw adorable wee King Regis though. Look at his wee beard.
And go in the grace of the gods.
Playing Pocket Edition is like finding a time capsule from an alternate dimension where Final Fantasy XV was a fully fledged PS2 era JRPG. From the top-down camera and the basic but exciting battles to the expressive chibi-style characters, everything feels authentically of a time when I'd sit in my bedroom playing JRPGs for hours on end and developing my characteristic pasty complexion.
Show 'em what you got.
Every aspect of Big Boy Final Fantasy XV's combat is present and correct. Warping around the battlefield, switching weapons in the fly, co-op attacks, and, when you unlock the Royal Arms, the devastating Armiger technique. Dodges and counters are telegraphed and use slow motion to give you plenty of time to react, and magic is a one and done situation. It's all just been made much more simple, which I think will appeal to a lot of people. Progression through the game is simplified too. It means there are a lot fewer side quests now, but they don't feel like a chore. In fact, one of the cleverest features of the game is a wee warning you get when you're about to leave an area with an incomplete side quest. If you want to blast through the game, you can, but it's handy to know that you've got the option to hang about and do a bit of item hunting first. I'm not one of those folk who thinks Pocket Edition is better than full-fat Final Fantasy XV, but it can be more enjoyable to play in short bursts, especially on Switch. Bosses and bigger creatures who can send the camera into a wild spin in the original game are now much easier to handle because of the camera angle and simplified controls. The biggest strength the game has is actually how similar an experience it is to the original. For all its differences and simplification, every story beat and cutscene is here. The emotional gut punch halfway through still rings true, and the big epic moment still has the same bombast and spectacle they had before. Even the notorious Chapter 13 is here in full, although it's somehow less difficult and infuriating than it was before. It's really, truly surprising that an unashamedly cutesy game can have such an impact, but it all comes down to how confidently the game wears its art style. The consistency in the art style and presentation also helps the story to feel more cohesive too. In the original game, some important plot details and world-building conversation could be easily missed because they were just mentioned in passing now and again. In Pocket Edition, those same conversations don't feel as throwaway because they're presented with the same level of detail as the major story beats. So, they stick in your memory much easier. It's not all perfect though. It's an obvious port which brings some issues in the transition. Audio glitches are frequent and sometimes footsteps or music will disappear for a while if too many sounds are triggered at the same time. The boys' idle chat repeats a lot, and sometimes entire conversations overlap each other. These issues are fairly minor, but they're disappointing. Really, they're only so disappointing because the rest of the game is such a pleasure to play. I'd love for more people to experience FF15 and get the same joy out of it that I have over the years. But I think the Pocket Edition is a much better entry point for some players. People who don't want a giant sprawling world to explore, and they'll be able to get just as full a Final Fantasy XV experience from Pocket Edition as I have the full game. And that's the point of why this exists. If the full game turns you off and you yearn for a JRPG like the PS2 days never ended, then Final Fantasy XV Pocket Edition might be just the thing for you.